Well, let's discuss this development and, of course, the fact that Jio has done away with its, lowest priced packs and what that really means. We have Gaurav Malhotra, Executive Director at Axis Capital, joining in. Jio definitely in the headlines this morning. Gaurav, thanks so much for being with us. Okay, so what do I discuss first? Let's start with the tariffs first, because that's already happened. The IPO, of course, everyone's waiting for. What are the implications? Because Rima was telling us that by doing away with this 249, I think was the pack, and taking it up to 299, it's effectively a 20% tariff hike. What are the implications?
Yeah, so see, there are like 2-3 things to sort of note in this, right? One is that this is a targeted implied hike, right? Versus a wholesale hikes, which we have been seeing in the past 3 hikes. So this is just taking the the base plan and sort of eliminating it and sort of getting people to upgrade to the next tiering of the plan. And that leads to that 17% hike from that perspective. At the blended level, the benefit from an ARPU perspective is obviously going to be much smaller. So it could be, say, 3, 4, 5%. But I think so the more important aspect is that, look, tariff hikes have been built in all analyst numbers, right? Over the next, say, 3, 4 years, like we are taking an assumption of, say, 7 to 8% ARPU CAGR for Jio. So the tariff hike per se is not the sort of the key sort of aspect to look at here. The aspect is that, look, rather than making tariff an event, which is what it has been till now, you are sort of doing a more sort of structured hike. You're essentially trying to sort of fix the current issues, right? What are the current issues? That you're giving a lot of data at very low levels, so people are not sort of really upgrading as quickly. The other thing to note is that, look, globally, this is the way operators take up tariffs, right? So they will discontinue a plan. They will sort of give you a new revised offer, which will be at some premium to your old plan, but with that they will give you some additional sort of data. So this is how sort of globally the large telcos sort of do increase their tariffs. And this is, if this were to start, this is just the first point. So we'll have to see whether others follow, whether this is a more sort of ongoing phenomena, but at least it's a good start the way we are thinking about it.
But Gaurav, again, coming to the implication part of it, there were some notes that were suggesting that this plan, this 249 plan, I think was contributing by a little less than 10% to overall revenues for Jio. So will it be meaningful? And should we expect the competitors to also do something of the same? So again, I mean, ARPU impact, revenue impact, any rough numbers or ranges we can work with?
Yeah, so from our perspective, we have assumed that will have some impact of around, say, 4%. But like I said, the more important aspect is that, rather than, everyone waiting every 2 years for like some wholesale tariff hikes, if the hikes can be more structured, more targeted, that actually is beneficial to everyone. It benefits the operators, it benefits the users also. So we are actually focusing more from that perspective rather than, whether it's a 2% or a 4% kind of a benefit at this particular hike. And the second point is whether the other operators will follow. Look, Bharti has been saying this quite regularly, that they do feel that, look, the tariffs need to be structured better, right? So they are quite open about, fixing that. And obviously Vodafone has its own challenges. So the likelihood of the other operators, following suit should be a reasonable probability in our view.
Okay, Gaurav, I have a slightly longer run question. Morning, Prashant here. As the people start using all these large language models more and more, right? I believe power, yes. I mean, I think compared to a simple web browsing the web, using some of these requires far more. Data usage is higher. I don't have the numbers, but I do believe that is true. Can you confirm that? And does that provide a broader lift to everybody in terms of data consumption if this really picks up in a big way?
See, to be honest, I don't have the exact numbers with me, but let me give you the context, right? Today, Bharti Mobile, on an average, per day data consumption is around 0.9 GB a day, right? Which on its large base means that there are enough and more people who are like at 1.5, 2 GB, even more consumers of data. And this data consumption is an ongoing structural trend, right? So one is that your LLMs, but look at anything, right? Every app progressively only gets heavier. The videos get of better quality. So data consumption keeps increasing at on an ongoing basis. At 8 GB a day, 8 GB a month, people used to say that India is on the higher side of global. So how much data consumption can increase? We are now closely almost touching like 30 GB, and this is a structural trend. So obviously all your LLMs and all this AI etc. will obviously help, but everything is going to be helping data consumption. Things which we would not even see it, right? So like I said, apps, video quality, games, everything is getting a better quality progressively.
I mean, if there's one thing we're using more of and we will use more of is data. And that is absolutely right. Thanks very much, Gaurav. Good chat and good perspective overall on an important sector. We don't spend too much time talking about that sector. Few listed companies, I guess that is why. But stocks have done very well. Bharti and others as well.